Hi friends, welcome back to Give It a Go Garden. This is the channel where I take you along on my gardening adventures. Some successful, some not so much, but we're always just giving it a go. So today's a really exciting day because my sister and her partner Cody just bought their first home in Port Hope and the garden is amazing. I've already told my sister strict orders, she's not allowed to touch anything until I review it first. We'll see how that goes. Clearly the owners who lived here previously put a lot of heart, put a lot of just love into the garden, and it is beautiful. We're not really sure exactly how long the garden has been sort of left, I don't want to say neglected, but just not properly taken care of. And we are in the middle of winter, so it does make it a little bit challenging to see specifically what is in the garden. But you can just tell there is just so much love and just so many beautiful flowers. Like, I'm so jealous. Today I'm going to walk you around, kind of show off what the garden looks like. I think this is going to be really fun to actually see and compare in the spring, what actually grew. I have some ideas of what might be in the garden, but if you have any ideas or know, please comment below, let us know, because we want to make sure we're taking care of it properly. So a really exciting video, and I will just show you what it looks like. So starting at the front, there's such a wide variety of shrubs and bushes. A little unclear what they are, but best guess, I have to assume that this is, blueberry, blackberry bush, which is really exciting. Here's a better shot of the blueberries, I think. But what's amazing about this space is, you turn a corner and then all of a sudden you're in another garden area. It's so beautiful. There's also what looks like to be, I think that's a rose, I'm not sure. Again, another beautiful bush. And then there's a line of hedges between her space and the neighbors. Again, I have to assume that this is a matching bush to the one before, but I'll head over to the front because that's the really exciting part. So I know it's safe to say this doesn't look like much, but I think that this area in particular next season will be really beautiful once we plant that up. We've got some cone flowers that have survived, so that'll be some really nice interest next season. And again, another rose. I think there's roses throughout the property, which is just so fun. The garden kind of continues in this L shape, so I'm going to recommend for my sister next season, if she's going to focus on anything, to focus on this area, because I think it'll be the most impactful, definitely in the front, and then maybe give the rest of the area a season to just kind of perform and see what grows and then make any changes and choices. But a really fun sort of opening space over here. Okay, so frame of reference, I just hopped over, but I hopped over because I want to show this off. So there's some raised baskets or raised beds. Again, you can see at one point they were planted with, I don't know, maybe like black-eyed Susans? I'm not too sure. But again, I think that, if she focuses on this part in the next season, that's going to have a lot of impact, especially as you first walk in. And then as I turn, again, we see another rose, and they have this beautiful trellis that if we can train some of the roses to grow up that is going to be so cool. Now, I'm not familiar what type of plants these are. I know they're very common in our area. So if you know what their names are, please let me know. But I think she should keep it. I think it looks really cool, especially right now in the winter. It's a nice, clearly evergreen, or there's some green interest just right when you walk in. But so beautiful and so much fun space to play. Gorgeous. I'm so jealous. Okay, so let's head to the back. So I'm surprised nothing is planted along here. I think that's smart, it's a very narrow walkway, so keep it kind of open. But as you walk in, there is this arch that has some sort of plant. It's a hardy plant. I don't know if it's alive though. I'm not sure. They've got some buds, so maybe. It would be nice though to trail it that way. And then as you walk in. One, you can kind of see we've already done a little bit of garden maintenance, but then they have this beautiful side garden just along the fence line. And, you know, come spring, I would definitely recommend taking advantage of this space here and really planting it up, but then leaving all of this. See what happens in the spring, see what grows, and then decide if you want to cut back or get rid of anything there. But out of the gates, I have to assume that this is a rose. I don't want to say bush, I gotta say tree, based on the thorns and the rose hips. But again, it's winter, so I don't know for sure. If any of you know, please let me know so I can tell my sister and Cody. Then moving on, there's definitely a mix of perennials, which again, I would just love to see in the new year, kind of what grows and what blooms. I have to assume that again, we've got another rose bush here. Moving along, we've got another rose bush here. Just such a fun space. Oh, and if anybody knows kind of what makes these seed pods, let me know, because I need them in my garden. I mean, that is so gorgeous and such a cool bright pop. Again, we're kind of trailing here. I might suggest moving, you know, this guy. But there's clearly so much really fun potential here. And I just want to like bring her clematis so that they can grow up these trellises here. But a really fun side garden. But again, I'd really suggest just kind of focusing at that front area to begin with and letting the garden grow so you can kind of see what are you working with. But a really beautiful side space. So as I turn, we've got another garden here, which like I won't even get into. I'm sure it has similar sort of plants as the other side. But then when we turn, we've kind of got this, once again, this open space, and you can kind of go down this way or this way. So we'll go down this way first. So right above us, we have this beautiful apple tree, which is really, I mean, that's just so fun to have. And then again, we have another rose garden. I mean, clearly the people who lived here prior love their roses. And in particular, they left, you know, some of the instructions or the variety, which is really fun. But this is such a beautiful space. I mean, definitely something to take advantage of and utilize come the spring. Maybe cut them down a little bit, you know, April, May. But we've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 varieties of roses that I can count on this side alone. So jealous much? Yup. Okay, as I walk on the other side, so I Googled, and I think this is raspberries. So there's a raspberry bush here, and I think a raspberry bush here. But then we've got a beautiful Rose of Sharon tree here. And again, we have it kind of flanking where the roses were, so that'll be so beautiful in the spring. And then we've got just this wall of hydrangeas. I mean, hello, so beautiful. That's going to just be gorgeous. I'm very curious what the variety will be. I don't know if they're going to be like limelight or snowball, snow globe. So if we see some pink, I may steal some. But again, you kind of walk through and there's clearly like a climbing bush that at one point climbed over this trellis. I hope they keep the arch. I think it adds some really fun interest. But who knows? I mean, as much as I want to be the one of this, the person who's in charge of this garden, I have to recognize I don't live here. Oh, I almost forgot. So in another I'm incredibly jealous moment, the previous owners had a seed starting hut. I mean, what? You go in, I mean, look at this space. I don't know how the audio is gonna sound. It has seen better days. It has had probably a better smell. But there's so much potential here for starting seeds. There's an electrical outlet so you could do kind of grow lights. But you can tell that this was once a really special space and just a little bit of elbow grease, and I think it'll return. So very cool. And if it's not abundantly clear, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous of all of the space. I'm so jealous of the seed starting. I'm so jealous of the roses. Just like, I should be green because I'm just green of envy. So just want to make sure you guys know that too. So as we come out of the seed hut, again, we have kind of a bed of, it's got to be some sort of perennials. And just frame of reference, though, we're kind of at the back of the house, and that's where the hydrangea garden is. So then as we turn, we've got another shed, another shed, another shed. So they'll probably get rid of this shed, which I'm for. But then as we come along the back, we've got another beautiful tree. We're not sure what the variety is. It's dropped a lot, you know, we've just cleaned up a lot of the branches and some of the fruit, I guess. But again, we're not really sure what kind of tree it is. It has this type of fruit, so maybe cherry. But if any of you know, please let us know. I'm not sure if they're gonna keep it. I think they're gonna assess what the health of the tree looks like, and then make a call, but very cool. And then back here, what I just did want to point out is I'm obsessed with these two little evergreens. I think they're so sweet. I'd love to see more of them throughout. You can kind of get a peek of like, this is the way that it all goes back. And again, what sort of bush is this? Fingers crossed it's the lilac bush. And then we've got, I think, some juniper bushes, which maybe might be want to be considered to leave. I think we've got some irises here. Again, everything just like you can just tell has been so lovingly put. It just needs a little bit of care to bring it back to what it was once before. Oh, in case anyone is wondering, this is also some sort of garden, but that's like in the future. We'll just shut that. No one needs to see that. So that's a very quick tour of this garden. I feel like I could spend hours kind of looking at every single corner. Every time I turn around, there's a new plant. You know, it is the winter, so there's still so much to uncover come spring. But I just definitely wanted to share with you what it's looking like now. Also because come spring, I'm sure we're gonna spend a lot of time here too. And I can't wait. I am mindful, I don't live here. So I also have to keep in mind Michelle and Cody, what they want to see, what they'd like to do. But I have no doubt that this garden is just going to bring so much joy to them, and it just has so much energy, and you can tell the people who lived here prior and who took care of these plants and this garden before just loved it so much. And that will continue. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed kind of walking around and just seeing the space very quickly. If you know or recognize any of the plants, like please let us know. You know, it helps to understand how to take care of them. But I'm really going to encourage Michelle and Cody to just kind of let the garden grow in the spring. Just get a sense of what you're working with before really pulling anything or making any major changes. Just so that, you know, you have kind of all options. But I think it's going to be so fun, and I will definitely bring you along to check out what it looks like. So if you haven't already, I hope you like and subscribe, but in any event, I really hope that this just encourages you to get out there and give it a go. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye. I'm incredibly jealous.